Miscellaneous minds, never explaining the minds. Devilish grin for my alias, aliens who respond. Peddling sin, thinking maybe when you get old you realize I'm not gonna fold or demise. I don't smoke crack, motherfucker, I sell it.
What is going on, everybody? This is the Miscellaneous Minds podcast. I'm your co-host, Boomer Gato, the cat that hands your new champion back. And to my left over here is the main man, Jesus De Niro, the man that makes the fat stacks. Take it away from the dynamic duo that won't die, Deadly Ideas Brothers, and spicier content than your girls' only fans.
What is going on, everybody? Before we get into tonight's topic, please make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit, and with that, let's get right into it. So, you may notice, especially from my man here, our voices are a little raspy. Here's why they're raspy. Last night, we attended the Bam Rodriguez fight versus Estrada. I'm going to tell you, 99% of the card was great. There was only really two fights that I personally didn't like. Other than that, they were all bangers. They were all great. We saw a few knockouts. We're going to go ahead and throw in the footage.
What is going on, everybody? Miscellaneous Minds. I am Boomer Gato. This man right here, De Niro, is driving us. I know we made an announcement on UFC. We weren't going to be able to watch UFC 303 live because we were actually going somewhere. De Niro, where are we going?
We're going to go watch a boxing match. Bam Rodriguez, my man Bam Rodriguez is going to be fighting
Juan Francisco Estrada, El Gallo.
Yep. I'm going to be watching that today.
Man, it's going to be unbridled rage in the ring going up against Jesse Rodriguez, the man of many angles. He is a protractor in the ring. We about to go watch that. What do you think is going to happen?
I'm not a lie. I think even though Estrada has a lot of the tenure, obviously he's in a lot of fights. He's had a long career. He's a veteran. He's wily, definitely great at what he does. I think Bam is just looking too good right now. Bam has been on his game. He's been knocking people out. I think Bam's going to take this one.
Yeah, I think he's gonna have to watch.
Phoenix, Arizona, we go to the judges' scorecard. Robert Tapper, 95 even. Javier Camacho, 97 to 93. Steve Morrow, 96 to 94. Both are your winner by majority decision. And still the WC Super Bantamweight Champion, Arturo. Reaches the top 10 at 3 minutes of round number 7. Declaring your winner by knockout. And the new WBC and Ring Magazine Super Flyweight Champion of the World, Jesse Rodriguez.
Yo, heading back to the car. We just got done watching the Bam fight. Bam took out my boy just like I said he was going to win. I called it from the get-go. It was a great, phenomenal fight, though. Shout out to El Gallo. That motherfucker did his thing, too. But in the end, just like we called it, Bam was going to win. And listen, I'll be honest with you. Let's go ahead and get to the main event and see what happened. Listen, there was quite the crowd. A lot of fans for Estrada. A lot of fans for Jesse. As you saw in the video that we inserted a second ago, we had made our pick before we got there. We had both picked Bam over Estrada. Reason being is, listen, Estrada is a crafty veteran. He's definitely a Hall of Famer. The man has done a lot. He's been in the game for quite some time, 15, 20 years. And he's got a lot of knockouts, more knockouts than even Jesse has fights. The reason we had picked Jesse is, I'll be honest with you, Jesse has been looking great as of late. His last couple fights were great. A lot of KOs, a lot of good stuff in there. I'll be honest with you, I don't think that Estrada had faced someone with quite the level of foot movement that Jesse demonstrated last night. Again, we were in attendance, and it was definitely of note that a lot of the footwork was in play for Jesse. A lot of the power shots were in play for Jesse. Every time that Estrada threw big power shots, they landed, but it didn't seem to have quite the same effect as when Bam threw his power shots and he landed. If I'm being honest with you, when he was landing his shots, they seemed to have quite a big effect. Now, one thing that Estrada did do, which definitely shook up the crowd, because by this point, before this one, Jesse had knocked down Estrada twice, and then Estrada knocked down Jesse Jesse one time, and it was the first time that Jesse's ever seen the canvas. It was, I'm not gonna lie, it was a shock moment for everybody. Not because we didn't, it wasn't like couldn't happen, but at that point, Jesse was definitely dominated in every single round, and at this point, it kind of looked like Estrada was maybe going to take it back. It's funny, at that point in the fight, I had actually mentioned to my man here, look, if Estrada doesn't do something, he's going to lose the fight. He's losing every single round. And it's literally at that point, you can ask my man here, it's literally at that point when maybe 10 seconds later it was, where he got the knockdown. And then after that, I'm not going to lie, he came out every round after that like, look, I know I'm losing, I got to get this. But at that point, we were at the 6th round when he got that. And I'll be honest with you guys, man, it got stopped in the 7th. Jesse laid down 2 amazing body shots, one after another, in the exact same spot. They ended up bringing down Estrada, and that was the end of the fight, man. It was a great performance by both players. Estrada did say he's going to enforce his rematch clause. We don't know when, but there's a couple of things that we'll get into in a second. But what did you think about the fight, man? What do you think about everything that we experienced?
My goodness, I was emotional the entire night. Again, not because all of the preliminary fights that were leading up to it, not only were they banger after banger, but from the get, we saw Jesse Rodriguez and Juan Francisco Estrada absolutely go out. There was maybe one round where there was maybe a bit of a lull and there wasn't much action, but it went, I believe it was into the 7th round. There was one round where, again, bit of a lull. Every single round after that was absolutely nothing but action. Everybody in the crowd was hyped up for both Jesse and Estrada. And look, I've said this before when we were leading up the drive going up to the Footprint Center. Look, go watch his fight against Carlos Cuadras. Go watch his fight against Rungvisai, even though the Rungvisai fight was a little controversial. But if there's one thing that Jesse absolutely has in spades, is that this man has more angles covered than a protractor. You look at every single position, this man was able to go in and look at all different angles. The head movement was there. His footwork was phenomenal, and every single angle that he could have had covered, he looked and analyzed every single one. He got the same liver shot that finished Juan Francisco Estrada, the same liver shot twice, but from 2 different angles, one on his side of his left and one on the outside of his left, and he got them both square in the liver shot, and it took him down. And look, it's one thing to have power. It's another thing to have every single angle covered with that power. So if somebody was trying to fight you out and try to get you on the outside or the inside, and to be honest, I think Estrada should have cut him off, because the only way you could have gotten any angles cut off is that if you fight closely on the inside. If he did that, Jesse wouldn't have had all the distance covered that he would have needed to get that final liver shot. But regardless, for him to have been able to cover all those angles makes him a little bit more dangerous. Yes, he does have a little. Estrada gave him a little bit of credit when it came to the power and all that. But Estrada, I think he would have had more power than Jesse did. The thing that Jesse had over Estrada was the fact that he was able to cover his head movement. He was able to move his body, and again, Jesse was just able to get more hits in on Estrada because of those angles. And look, the power and all that doesn't really matter so much if you can't really get as much hits in. If it was a death by 1,000 knife situation, I think that's basically what had happened all night. Estrada can say he had more of the power, and I think it's really more so. The fact that Jesse was able to get a lot more hits in than Juan did. I think Juan with the knockdown that he got, I believe it was in the 3rd round, right? 3rd or 4th round. Yeah, 4th. It was the 4th round. I think it was one of those where he just got way too many power shots landed and he was able to take down Jesse for just a little bit. But I think at that point the damage was already done. All the punches that Juan had gotten at that point had just been starting to build up, and it just came on crackling down. It's one of those things where all the punches that were necessary to land, even though they didn't have a whole lot of sauce behind them, I think it's one of those things where he got hit one too many times, and he was able to take him down using that, and it was just the perfect 2 liver shots perfectly angled, that was able to take him down. It was a beautiful fight. Both of these men absolutely need their flowers. If they run it back, you best believe I'm going to be watching that fight. What do you think about my analysis on that?
Look, man, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if Estrada has more power than him. He has more knockouts, but simply just because he's had more fights. But Bam's knockout percentage is higher, so I would think Bam has more of the power. But don't get me wrong. Listen, again, when Estrada did land some of those power shots, man, it just they hurt Jesse, especially obviously the one that knocked, but not as much as Bam's shots hurt Estrada. When Bam landed a good power shot, man, you could see it in Estrada that he got shook. And again, listen, regardless, it was a great fight from both of them. Mad respect to each one of them. They each went out there and did their thing. Again, Bam tasted the canvas for the first time in his career because of Estrada. So lots of flowers there, lots of flowers for both men. One thing that was brought up in the after-fight interview, that's going to be somewhere down the road, but people are already apparently asking for it. Bam versus Inoue. It was brought up by the commentators. It was brought up by the gentleman doing the after-fight interview. They even asked that he heard about it. Listen, right now, Bam is at 115. I believe Inoue is at 122. I believe it is. Don't quote me on that. So listen, it's still a bit of a jump forward, Bam. And I'll be honest with you, I like Bam. That's the reason I picked him to win. I think he's got a lot of talent. I think moving forward, he's going to be doing a lot of big things. That being said, listen, he's not ready for Inoue. I like Bam a lot. I think he, the world of him, and I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. But Inoue is called the monster for a reason. It's just not that time. And listen again. Bam himself said that he wants to get undisputed at 115. So maybe we'll have a little bit of a lull between when that fight could potentially happen. Everyone kept on referring to it as a fantasy fight, which at this point that's what it is. But listen, I personally don't think he's ready for Inoue. I think we're still a little bit far away from that. But listen, we never know, man. Stranger things have happened, and if it went down, we'd obviously do a breakdown of it and we'll see what we think. But regardless, it was a great night for Bam. To be honest with you, it was a great night for Estrada. I think he looked phenomenal going out there. Again, he made a much younger individual taste the canvas for the first time. He looked great. It's not like there was a point where it was just, so out of pocket to say, okay, well, Estrada can come back. No, he definitely had his moments. Even before he knocked down Jesse, there was moments where he was catching Jesse. So I'm like, okay, I see you. But other than that, listen, it was a great fight. It was a great night. We love going there. Obviously, we'll do as many of these types of events as possible. We'll always record footage of when we go. That way you guys can see that we're there live. We'll bring that to you. We'll bring you guys that experts analysis that we've been giving you. Thank you to everybody that's been tuning in. We truly, truly appreciate it. Before we go anywhere else, anything else you want to add to that, my man?
I think that's it out of me.
And with that, make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit, and
Until next time, get rest and stay blessed. We'll see you on the next one.